Hey everybody, how's it going today? Had to go a little earlier today because got some stuff to do today. So anyway, let's jump into it. And all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational and educational only. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you desire personal financial advice, consult your financial advisor. Alrighty, now that we got that out of the way, let's jump over. Remember, we got S&P 500 seasonality this week. I mean, for the rest of the year, really. Potentially, we could see this big pop coming out of the FOMC today. This is like, I don't know, last 20 years. And on midterm election years, it actually comes out a little more bullish than typical. So that's what we got cooking this year. We have a potential to run right up into the election. Maybe we get a pullback at the election. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe we get this pullback before the election next week and then pop after it. We'll just have to see what cooks here, what happens. All right. Yeah, morning, Lee. Morning, Randy. All right. Next up on the list, earnings. We can check out AMD and Airbnb and see if what I said even came to fruition. So Airbnb looks like I drew that big arrow down and we're gapping down about $6 roughly so far. Reasonable, right? That's a pattern showed down. And then AMD, well, I said we had a potential for a bottom. Looks like they're popping about $3, almost $4 so far. Yeah, closer to $3. Well, that's not a bad, wasn't a bad guess there either. So let's check out what we have on tap for the rest of today on earnings. We got Roku, Qualcomm, Marathon Oil. Not really familiar with a bunch of the other ones there. CVS reporting they had a $5 billion settlement on opioids. That's been weighing on their stock. Then before the open tomorrow, we have ConocoPhillips, Peabody, Peloton. Don't expect much good out of that. Nikola. Don't expect much good out of that one either. Yeah. Let's go check out some of these other ones here. Roku. That looks pretty rough. I don't know. Not much of a positive sign cooking there. I mean, this could be like AMD and this be the final bottom, but that looks pretty rough. And then Qualcomm. That does look more like AMD right there. We could see this one lift up and retest the roadmap line. Of course, it's got to get above it and stay above it to be bullish. So that's what we got cooking on that one. FOMC, we're just kind of wait and see. 2 p.m. today, and then 2:30 Jerome Powell talks. So that's a big market mover type event, and I know that options prices are a little crazy. Let's pop over the bot for my opening bell alerts. The only day trade I usually keep track of. Let's see what the bot had to say. If we got it, yeah, there it is. So last daily close 183.58. The gap for the day has been closed pre-market. So a lot of sideways action overnight. And usually I check this out on the 1 minute and turn on the extended hours. And we can see, yeah, the price action overlapping right here. Oop, fat fingers. Yeah, just barely overlapping. Kind of a lot of sideways overnight. We can see that more clearly in the Russell futures here. I switched to a 5 minute. You can see they never stop. Like they keep going all night long. And it's just been consolidating right on the roadmap line on the 5 minute there. Slightly biased down, but not really making lower lows. think the whole market's going to be in a wait and see potentially today, unless there's some kind of leak or something, some other sort of surprise, something cooking. I think we're just going to wait and see, hold. I mean, Nasdaq basically flat, S&P 500 basically flat. And he used to be 4 points is a pretty good day, and 30 points was a big day, and lately that's nothing. I mean, we moved 30 points in a heartbeat. It does very much remind me of the environment we had coming out of the housing crash, where S&P would move 100 points in a day, and like on Fed days, you could get 150, 200, 300 point moves, which on the CPI number, we did basically see like 300 point day. It was 300 points of range. So a little crazy. Still a little biased down. That's kind of bearish looking right there. Big drop, kind of riding the 5-minute roadmap line with a bias down, but kind of a wait and see. I mean, it's really sideways. S&P, same sort of chart. Looks like a wave 4 consolidation to me. If I had to put a pattern to it, if you're not familiar on Elliott wave, well, wave 4 is a correction. Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves is an impulsive. That's a trend move. And the wave 2s and 4s are the corrective moves, where wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So you see that in the charts a lot, and they nest. So like wave 1 is made up of 5 waves. Wave 2 is made up of 3 waves, or a corrective structure. Wave 3 is made up of some form of 5 waves. Wave 4 is made up of 3 waves again of some sort of corrective structure. It could be, it could be a complex corrective that gives you more than 3, but usually it's 3 big moves. And then wave 5, again, a 5-wave impulsive type move. And then in those 5-wave moves, you have the same thing cooking. So if you're unfamiliar, that's like a mini, 45-second version of Elliott wave. Now, corrective stuff tends to overlap and be nasty. So if you ever hear me say that looks corrective, well, it's overlapping and nasty, like in the daily oil chart right here. Let's go back. This looks like a big corrective move to me off of this March high. We had a pull down for A, rise back up with a lower high for B, and we've had this pull down for a C wave. It hit the proportions I was looking for, and you can see A was kind of a 3-wave move, B was a sloppy overlapping thing, and then C kind of made this nice 1, 2, kind of sloppy there, 3, 4, and pushed down into a 5, which I'm not entirely sure it's complete yet. I mean, this could have all been the 3, and this be the 4, and we get the 5 finishing it up. So this is, it's hard to count sometimes. Anyway, so oil, still looking for it to break above 90. We're not there yet, still just kind of chugging along sideways. Now, any kind of dovish action from the Fed can like cause everything to go ripping. So be cautious. And an overly hawkish Fed, well, that can be the excuse for everything to go south on us. Everything just to make a lower low. This is kind of a tipping point. We didn't confirm any kind of bullish pattern, and we haven't really invalidated any kind of bearish pattern on the big time frames. And yesterday during the 30 minutes of awesome, I popped up, let's see if I can find the chart. Let's see, yeah, it's over here. Let me grab it. Yeah, I can pop this up in TradingView, but we came right up to that red zone that I've been talking about and pulled back. So we didn't get up in there like I expected. This could be a warning, kind of, an early warning, a couple days up ahead that we may see a lower low. I don't know. That's giving me caution right now. And we're just hours away from finding out what actually happens. So anyway, all right. Closed up the chat there. Yeah, you think TTD and FTI are going to take off on earnings? Let's check out their charts. TTD, I don't know. They still got earnings out next week. Yeah, 7 days from now. I'm not so sure. It's kind of a bearish setup there. We zoom out a little bit on the daily. That's a little bit bearish. It looks a lot like the A, B, and B chart, kind of, and they're breaking down. So, and then FTI. Let's see what we got. Now that one is kind of bullish. So hitting its head right on the 1618. It might need a retrace before it can break out higher. It might. But it can just, this could be all the consolidation needed to pop to the next higher level around 13 or 14. Even super, like it could go super bullish, get to 18, 20, 29. But I think it's going to have, you can see how it consolidates at these levels each time. Well, it's not really a coincidence. So, alrighty. Let's see. Well, that's kind of my outlook for the day. Nasdaq still not breaking above the trend. That's kind of not bullish, but it's kind of waiting. Is this news from the Fed the catalyst, that gets us to pop through, or is it the catalyst that gets us to drop out to the next level down? About 10,336 on Nasdaq. That's NDX or Nasdaq, however you want to look at it. QQQ is divided by 41, I think it is. Yeah, we can do that. QQQ times 41. Yeah, that was a pretty good guess. Pretty close. 11,331, 11,279. Yeah, fairly close. So if you didn't know you could multiply something by a number, like right there, you can do it you just QQQ, put a little asterisk and 41, and you can multiply it out and see how it relates to NQ or NDX. That's the Nasdaq index. So, alrighty. Kind of like you can go SPY times 10. It's not perfectly times 10, but that puts it roughly, so you got 38.40 pre-market, and ES is coming in at 38.60. So about 20 points of difference there. Interesting, huh? Neat trick. You can do all sorts of math. You can build your own index too. Like you can, like if I wanted an Apple plus Google plus Amazon, build my own little index. Right there it is. Looks pretty rough. And it's mostly because Google keeps plummeting here. Right down to, that could be a bottom for Google, right around that 962. I saw Amazon was also retesting the low there. Yeah. Both those pushing down. And one that hasn't really been talked about is the fact that Netflix is trying to turn a little bullish here. Poking up through the roadmap line. Definitely more bullish than Roku. I mean, Roku is just down here. Netflix up here. So, Netflix could get dragged down by horrible Roku numbers, but it's kind of on its own path, it looks like. It's not really doing what the rest of big tech's doing. Of course, Meta is just like making lower lows and lower lows. This thing doesn't really have any great support levels. I mean, we've already broken past these lows back here we were holding on to from all the way back in 2016. Now we're way down in there. Kind of hanging out right where we consolidated back in at the end of 2015. And next level down could be all the way in the 50s. Looks like for Meta. And they've got earnings coming up on February 1st. So a ways from now. Next quarter. All right. Well, that's kind of my outlook for the day. Things I got my eyes on. Just waiting for the Fed, really. Nothing too hot. I got a few things I got to do. I'll be in and out today. Echo Trades live. I'm going to try to get that in probably around 11:30 maybe. We'll see if I can make that happen. I have some YouTube class thing to attend today, so that's the things I got on my book, and I appreciate everybody coming. You might want to check out this video over here if